Hello, 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 hello. It's me again. Time for a little quick. Well, I always say that, but it ends up in, taking a long time. But we go on. I'm going to give some thoughts about this game called The Infected, version 1701. It is an early access game, but before we dig into that, I will say that you will hear me say a lot. For some reasons, that occurs a lot when I talk English. With that said, either you bear with it or not. I don't care. Yes, I do. Okay. This game, The Infected, survivor game, since that is the genre I am quite into at the moment, at least, and have been so quite a while. I'm going to have a few other survivor games as a reference and comparing to them, and that will be like DayZ, 7 Days to Die, Sunken Land, Raft, even The Forest, and the sequel Sons of the Forest, Planet Crafter, Green Hell. Well, the list goes on and on. So let's see. We load the game, and you can see here I may do like this. Sorry, there is. I shut down the audio from the game at this point. So you can do a lot here. You can enable and disable and things, temperature and how long the month will be and so on. So this, as I said, is an early access game on Steam. It was quite cheap, so I thought, why not try this? I've been playing 7 Days to Die quite long. I have my own server there, so I wanted just to check this out when I saw it. And well, there is a few things that I will say that is positive and a few that is negative. So we are in the game now, and let's start with the graphics. The graphic in this game is not bad. But it is not like overwhelming and woo, you don't stand watching things and because it's so beautiful. It's quite okay. I've seen games that has much worse graphic. I have everything in ultra setting now. So since that is what it's suggested, or epic even, yeah, that is this. It can't be better than this. But remember what you see on this video. It may be a little less, a little quality drop when converting to video and doing all that. So keep that in mind. That in the game here it can be a little bit sharper and better than in the video. So what else? Well, the game itself, it reminds a lot of Green Hell. Well, the graphics, sorry, I give that a 3. That's 2.5, 3. It's not bad, as I said. it's quite okay, but it could be better, especially now when we have Unreal Engine 5 and all that can do amazing stuff. So I'm still waiting for that survivor game that has like really good graphics, but this is okay. So 3 points for graphics. It is, as I said, really much reminding of Green Hell. It reminds in crafting, it reminds in inventory and so on. Same also reminds of the forest / Sons of the Forest. Speaking of inventory, if you have played Green Hell, you will remember this. Your backpack, here's your stuff, and here's your food, and here's on the back you have your weapons and so on. In Green Hell, it puts sticks and so on there as well. In this game, it puts the sticks inside here, which is annoying. I'm not a super fan of this type of inventory. It's quite limiting, especially in this. You can't stack that much. Some things don't even stack. So if you like, I have those stacks up to 5 and so on, but there is some things that doesn't stack at all, which also leads to you will fill your inventory quite quickly, and when you fill your inventory, you are getting like overburdened, so you walk really, really, really slow. And that is super annoying. Yes, you have this ATV, which you can put some stuff into as well. You run into the houses and loot or gather and then put it here. But still, it is quite... For me, my opinion is that you get overburdened too easy. I don't like to drive this ATV too much because sometimes it on the roads it's hard to explain, but it's like the whole machine shakes a lot, and then you see the trees like almost like flickering, but it is like the vibration. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's kind of tiring for the eyes. It doesn't feel, it has nothing to do with the frames per second or anything. It is something in when you drive it. It's like the machine is like super vibrating, and that also then affects your view on the trees and things beside the road. And also, I like to save the gas because, yeah. And speaking of gas, that comes... so inventory, I give that 2. It's not... it's been... It could been better. It could. So... 2 for inventory. And also, that leads us a little bit into the gathering. And gather in this game, well, that I can say, now the big difference comes in games like 7 Days to Die, for example. You are quite limited in what you can gather. You can find a little things like watermelons and different food and so on the ground. You have the sticks. You can find stones. You can chop the trees. You can chop the rocks. And there is also clay over there. So that is okay. That's kind of normal, I would say. But you can't, for example, like, I want to take this. No, you can't take anything like that. It's only those things that is placed like this. Which, for example, in 7 Days to Die, you can dig, you can take, you can go through a mountain if you want to. You just need to chop, and you gather resources, and that is stones and all that, and sometimes you get a rare diamond or something. So that also goes to the villages. There is like villages, the green ones, it's like cities and villages and so on. I were in this area earlier today and went through a few houses there, I think there were 6 or 7. And that is the second thing that I think is I did expect a little more than it was, to be honest. And maybe it is because I have played games that is like, for example, 7 Days to Die. You're going into a house. You can demolish that house totally if you want, and you get different resources, wood, stones, and so on. And if you have like a stove, you can check the stove, and there is something in it. I take that, and then you can take this dismantle or take that apart and take like electric parts, engine parts, whatever. You get lots of reasons, steel and iron or whatever, depending on what you are taking apart. And you can take apart a car. You can first you loot the car, see if there is something in it, and then you can take apart the whole car and get fuel and so on from the car, as we would in real life in this kind of situation. At least I would, because I would not open a car and say, here's two nails or a potato, and then I would walk away. Now, if I had a knife or anything, I would cut up the fabrics on the seats, and I would take as much as possible I could from that car. Yes, and that's where the big difference is, and not in my favor of liking, because in this game you are really limited, at least so far, to what you can loot. You can't take apart anything. You can't break a house. You can't hit anything. You only search like drawers and shelves and like fridges and so on, and you may find a potato or screws or whatever, and that's it. You find a random loot. You have garbage bag, and in most other games those disappears after you've been there and looted that. in my days, 7 days to die server, I even this they will never spawn back. I have like put that loot will never respawn. But here it doesn't do that, and now it's going to be thunder. I will lower the volume a little bit in the game. But maybe I think I will do like this so far. Because it is a little annoying with the thunder when doing this. So, looting is a big minus for me, and gathering stuff in my likings, because you're so limited and you need to... Yeah, you are stuck with those things that is planted in here, that loot. You can't like do as you would in real life, take as much as possible. So looting and gathering, that I give a 2. I was a little surprised that it didn't have that, but it is, like I said, it's quite close to Green Hell. It was kind of the same there, and it feels strange to walk away from, oh, here's a glass, or here's something I just can pick up. No, you can't even destroy it and get something from it. And that then loot, yep, that's one thing. You need to craft also. Crafting is really, if you have played Green Hell, and also the forest, if I remember correctly, is kind of the same. It's then if you have played either of those, you have no problem crafting, because it's the same. You will go in here and you have this, and you drag out what you want to, and you combine different things. You see here, no valid recipe, but if I do like this, take one off here, then I can craft a lighter. So if I had for example, if I had a rock and a stick and put it here, I would be able to craft an axe. You can also press here and then you see what you need. You need the stick and a small stone. But here comes a stupid thing, in my opinion, because I was so happy. I had quite much iron, so I decided, after I built my anvil, to make myself an iron axe. So I made the iron axe head. We have it over here, taking lots of play. And then I thought I could like just make that darn axe. No, because why not? That needs to put this and one stick together. That need to have an advanced workbench. And yeah, it is, in my opinion, stupid. Why can't you put a stick in to this when you can do it on this? That even needs a rope, so it needs more things than this. But no, you can't. You need, and here we come to the next thing. So crafting, I will give that. Yeah, I don't like this type of crafting, really. But it's okay. I gave it a free. I'm a nice guy. I gave it a free. It could be much worse. I tried some games that I played for a half hour even, and then no way, this is too. But yeah. But this that you need special, more advanced things. It's the same in 7 Days to Die. But there you have skills. You need skills to build new things. And you learn all the whole time. You're learning by doing things, and you also get experience and so on. And you also learn by books that you find either in houses and so on, and at the airdrops that comes now and then. That's the way you skill up. So, for example, I can get better tools, and then I can improve that. If I make a hammer, I can make a hammer level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then after that, I go into next tool that I can build. So that has like a progress, and you learn, and it's not that super hard to learn it either. You find the books, it takes time. You need to find the right books for the right things. And the higher you go, the harder it gets, because then you need more learning points. In this game, they also have kind of, I would use the word tech tree, but they have tech points. That's their kind of version of skill points, I guess. So, but this, you can learn those things. And like I just, solar panel. Yeah, perfect. I get power. No, I can't, because I don't have learn the solar battery technology. And then I did a mistake, because this was before I had made my axe head. So I decided to make this geometry table. I've been playing this since yesterday, and lots of hours into it. I played a long time yesterday, and I played some today as well. The thing is, well, it is not good. You find those, it's the same here, you read this, but you find it like, how should I say, you find paper in some houses and when you read those, you get a tech point. So I've been in maybe 25, 30 houses since yesterday, found 2. So that will take, I realize that will take a long time. And if you can't unlearn or anything, you're stuck with your bad decisions. Which, yeah, some may like that, but to me, it's limiting. It's like, I don't know anything. Well, I can only chop my wood, and you don't learn anything new, except if you find those papers, which I think they have done this to make this a little last longer, if I can say so. That, yeah, it will be, it takes so a long time before we can do that. Combining all this with the inventory that you need to go back and forward. It can't stack, it can't, oh, now we're overburdened, can't take that, need to go back and forward. Even if you use your ATV, you will be lots of like going back and forward, back and forward to get the things, and hopefully find one paper so you can get the skill point, and hope that you don't do like this. For example, if I had taken the fridge, would I have been able to use that since I have no power? You know, you need to think ahead a little bit. And after all, you have those grinder, you have stone grinder, you will learn later on to build like machines that extract minerals and all that. So that will help. But the thing is still that you need to get those papers, and being in so many houses that I have and found two makes me understand that no, it will take a long while before you can start doing those things. I give crafting a 2. Yeah, I stick with the 2 on this as well. Now we come to fighting, and that is where things get ugly in my opinion, because there is mobs, there are kind of werewolfish. The characters feels like it's some stock characters they taken from some sites. I know Unreal has lots of free stuff. I think Unity also has that. Yeah, it has, and so on. So, and the mobs feels like, oh, there. I almost remember me seeing one of the mobs when I were doing some 3D animation and so on. I made some small games for myself in Unreal, and I when I saw one of the mobs here or infected, I like, haven't I seen you before? So it feels like it's stuck, but it doesn't look bad. It's okay, but the fighting is, in my opinion, awful. I hope they will change that and work on it. We should remember it's early access, so hopefully lots of things will be improved, and some things must be improved if this game is going to grow and be a good game, to be honest. And fighting is one of those, because the aim, if I use the aim like that and like, oh, I hit you, no, you're standing in the same direction, same distance, and you fight, and you try to hit him in the head or whatever. No. He can hit you. The mobs can hit you, and they hit quite hard, to be honest. And then you don't. But next time, if you do the same aim, then it may work. Or if you aim lower, it hits. Sometimes I aim for the foot, and then it hits. So the hit zone, or what to call it, is it's messed up, in my opinion. Sadly, because that brings all combine that you can't hit, and you hit slow with this axe that doesn't give much damage, and it doesn't even hit sometimes. And they hit everything you strong if you don't like run and but they hit you, and sometimes they hit you so hard that you fall down, and then you're kind of like you are stunned, and you're like, and then it's a little bug that makes sometimes you being almost under the surface. so you can see part of the game, and one part is totally missing because then you are kind of outside the game. So, but that is something I've seen in many other games. I think it's that you can sometimes look in a wall and then you see nothing, or you see the outside, you see what's not in the game, so to say. But combining that thing with they are hitting you quite hard, especially if you're in the game early and don't have any armor or whatever, and a stone axe, and that the aiming and the hit zones are messed up, makes it like, for me, I will be nice and say 1.5 on that. 1.5. I hope they improve that. I will give this a few days more, but I already felt when with the loot things, when you can't go and it's quite limited, and I think that is because I have played games that you can do whatever you want almost, you know. So I think that is also why I react to not being able to do that, because there is no logic in just open a door and take a potato out of a car and leave the rest. But I will give it a try. The building and so on is quite okay. There is some games has this problem that it's hard to align, and or you want to rotate and so on, and it takes forever, and if you place a wall, no, that is not aligned with that, and so on. This, so far, the little I have built has been no problems with that. So that is, I must say, is okay. Overall, I will give this game 3. Would I suggest this game to someone that is new to this survivor games? Well, I wouldn't. If I think that, like they said, in 7 Days to Die and so on, is maybe too hard for them to begin with if they have never played anything. I am not sure I would recommend this. I think I rather recommend, okay, since it's the same concept, but it feels like they have put more work into it, I would say Green Hell to start with, and then move on to, like they said, or 7 Days to Die or whatever. But I'm not sure. It's not a bad game. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not dissing it. Some things I don't like. It could be improved, and hopefully it will be. But yeah, I give it a 3, and so far I think I'm quite kind. It's a nice 3. So, and by that I mean it could be a 2.5, but I say 3. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and have fun. And bye.